Hello, hello. This is the My Artifact episode number 2698. Today's date is 16 January 2023. Okay. So, yesterday I was making Artifact episode, but usually um, I didn't really complete it. Wait, okay. Hello. So, where was I? Yeah. Yesterday I didn't really make Artifact episode. I record Artifact episode, but usually didn't really record properly. Yeah, that is what happened. So uh, today there is a some sort of thing I need to say. Um, it's a so I'm gonna ask you the question. Okay, is that, hey, what is the meaning of successful, or should I say, what is the meaning of, like what is the process to be in the successful? Okay, like process, like what is the process? Okay, like you don't really understand the question, but let me clarify to you. You properly understand. Okay, so usually almost like maybe 50 years ago, or maybe, yeah, 50 year 20 or 50 years ago. Okay, is that key usually, men, I'm talking as a perspective as a man. Okay, so usually men wake up at morning, okay, do breakfast and stuff like that, and he went to office or work, okay, at 9 a.m., okay, and then he do entire work, okay, and then he came home at 6 p.m., okay, and then he spent a little bit of time with his family, then he sleep, then he wake up and do this thing again and again. So, and usually as a people in the house of this man, like his wife and his child, uh, it feels like that ki we are actually progressing means like that ki we are going, like life is going on. Okay, so this is the process. Okay, and usually most of the people believe in this thing, okay, today and as also, yeah, because, but usually I'm talking about today's perspective, or maybe future perspective. Okay, like is that key working for almost like a 9 to 5 or things like that, today's world is not really like basically is I like this is terminology which is not actually include all those people. Yeah, like it's not usually just it's not include. Okay, like it includes some of the people like who are people are kind of like a very creative or kind of like a very rich people or kind of like a very the people who actually work from their brain. Okay, so for those people this terminology include those people. Okay, and those people like basically almost like a 7% of entire population, 7 or maybe 10%, max to max 20%. Okay, but 80% is actually people who are actually do their work like they are actually believing 9 to 5 work and they are believing things like that, and it's actually very good as also. Like you cannot compare like a like basically as a run the country you need some sort of a workforce, and that workforce has to be believing this proper system. Okay, so yeah, like this should not be include some of the people. All right, the definition would not be considered as a in future perspective as also, like it always be like basically as a man who has to go to office and do stuff. Okay, like what is I'm gonna tell them about, like this is not another, this is you are completely wrong. You are like this is legit not. Yeah, so like there is no meaning to say anything. All right. Okay, so what is I'm gonna talk. So I don't know, yaar, why do you ask this question? I don't know. I just feel something really off. I just feel something that I just like I just let it out now, dude. Okay, so like at home now is a very difficult thing for me, and like basically is that my parents was talking like when you will get a job and when you will get a job, like maybe this is kind of like a torture. It happened maybe every day. Okay, yeah, and every time I just feel really sad and feel really like why do you feel something like that? Well, why now, let me tell you one thing. Like right now I'm doing creative process. Okay, like making video for the YouTube and things like that. It's a very creative process. This actually work is actually came out from my brain, came out from my head. Okay, and for that purpose you need to be kind of like a very blank, kind of like very silent, kind of like a very like basically is that कि some of those words na like my parents would say when you will get a job, when you will earn money, like these are the kind of like a questions are actually creating poisons inside of me. Okay, poison or parasite, whatever it is. Okay, and when those parasites are stuck inside of my head, then it's kind of like a very difficult to create content. Because of that, all the time I was thinking about, because of that, why our brain is actually picking up the problem. Okay, like basically is that there is 100 thing is right, but there is a one wrong thing is in front of it. You just quickly get it ki, huh, this is the wrong. Okay, so that's how our human brain works. Okay, so usually is that ki, basically is that ki whatever the really good thing is happened, like I'm actually creating content, uploading content, scheduling, I get views and things like that. Okay, all those things are not really considered, all those things are not really kind of like really like not in front when the when parents says that ki when you will get a job, and when some sort of word is stuck in my head, then it just like all those glory whatever I get from the YouTube, it just like fuck off. Because of that, in the end, like how much views you get, how much subscriber you get, like it's important is that how much money you get. Okay, that is most of the thing is matter. Okay, how much money you will get. So it's kind of like a very challenging, and it's like I don't know, it's just like yeah. But dude, this is the process now, dude. This is the process. Being a YouTube journey, you have to went through that stuff. Okay, and Everyone does that. Okay, this is the problem, and you have to face those problems. You cannot ditch those things. Okay, you cannot convince your parents, you cannot convince all those people. Because of that, in the end, people will convince by your work, by your things you will get, not the convince by your communication skills. It's not okay. आप कितना भी उनको कन्विंस करने का प्रयत्न करो, it's not gonna work out. Like how much good skills you have, it's not, because in the end they didn't really see it in real. They didn't really see the क्या, they didn't really see it कि इंटरनेट से भी कोई पैसा आता है या ये कुछ करने से भी पैसा आता है. They didn't like Badal, Prashik, I know them since second standard. Then Vishal, I know him from seventh standard. Okay. Then rest of the people is kind of like really new to him. Okay. But before that, we actually play football together. Okay, at ground. Okay, we don't know each other. We just play football. And then one day, it's 31st December, 2010, and Pintu, Badal, Vaibhav, Vishal, they include me. Okay, include just some of the people, and we celebrate New Year. And this is the time we kind of like became friend. Okay, and then became friend and then best friend. Okay, so I'm not talking about the friendship. I'm talking about something really change happened. And what is that change? Okay, let me tell you one thing. So usually is that कि when we are in the school, when we are in the college, or when we are in kind of like a some sort of community. Okay, community means like a college, office, or whatever it is. Okay, the person sitting beside you or person is doing same thing as you is kind of like a your friend, is kind of like a your colleague, whatever it is. Okay, the wavelength of his and you is actually match. Okay, thinking wavelength is actually match. Okay, so what is exactly I'm gonna talking about? Ki in our group, some of the people get a job, some of the people didn't really get a job. They are trying to get a job. Okay, like me, like I didn't really have money and I didn't really have a job. Okay, so me, Pintu, Vaibhav, yeah, just three people left. I didn't really get a job. Okay, and then rest of the people are got a job. Okay, so usually Vishal has a job and he went to Nashik, he went to Latur. He is really far away. Vaibhav is still struggling, but he's not here. He is actually in Bangalore. Then who's left is Badal, Prashik, and then Rahul. One man had a job. One man has a job. Okay, and he is also married. So he's actually really far away from these groups. Okay, so he's really away. So usually in the playing field, like in playing field means like usually almost like there are five people. Okay, so five people. Okay, uh, Pintu, Badal, Prashik, Rahul, me, and Pravesh. But Pravesh is not also here. He is actually in Chandrapur. Sometimes weekend he came here, but most of the time he was in Chandrapur. So usually just 4 or 5 people is here. Okay. So uh, Pinto and me, we didn't really get a job. Okay. So usually I didn't really hang out with those people as much. Why? Because of that, I didn't have a time. First of all, another thing is that because of spending time with them, and then I have to shift my focus from friends to content, it takes time. Okay, so I try to avoid those people. Okay, avoid those people, avoid those scenario and things like that. It doesn't mean that I didn't really like them. It's not it's about that I have to really focus on the things what I'm doing. Okay, so that's why I'm just kind of like really little bit of far away. But sometimes some of the moments are kind of like really important that we have to spend time together. So this is the day, day before yesterday, Pravesh birthday. Okay, so usually we went there, and there is uh, some sort of a partition or some sort of group or some sort of kind of like a things is actually splitting away from people who don't have a job and people have a job. Okay, and what is that? Is that Badal Prashik, he is actually teasing Pintu. Okay, for various reason. Okay, like basically होता है ना कि communication में आपको एक बकरा चाहिए होता है जिस पर आप हंस सके. Because of that, the when communication feels really good. Okay, so and ये हर जगह होता है. It's not like in every group, in the friends group ना, like in friends group में हमेशा कोई ना कोई बकरा होता है जिसको पकड़ते फिर उसको काटते यानी जलील करते, whatever it is. Okay, शब्दों से वो is like. So this is the same thing. Okay, like basically uh, uh, it actually happened with me. Okay, almost like maybe month ago, and then I actually tell him that ki dude ऐसा है. Then like basically ना, sometimes I don't want to do bakra. Okay, like हाँ ठीक है, आपको जलील कर रहे हैं. ओके ओके, ठीक है, चलो मजाक में ले रहे हैं, कोई बात नहीं. Then sometimes ना you don't you sometimes ना it's not really good. Okay, sometimes you feel really hurt. So I tell them कि dude मेरे से 2 हाथ दूर रहे. Okay, I just tell him बादल को बादल. And then Badal is kind of like a really kind of like a crucial. Okay, he is the guy, he is actually teasing all those people. Okay, so yeah, so that is a really good thing. So he's not actually teasing me, he's not actually doing me bakra all the time. Okay, that is a one thing, good thing. Another thing is that right now I am not in the competition. Okay, so there is only one guy left, is that Pintu. Why? Because Pintu don't have a job and Pintu is really unemployed. So usually let's just make him bakra. Okay, so this is the same thing happened in the birthday. Is that कि like very very small thing, just like हाँ तू ऐसा करता है वैसा करता है पूरा केक खा लिया and all those things. And just like I know Pintu is hurt, but still he is going, he's taking it very lightly, taking it very majak and things like that. But I just feel like that I just start comparing things like that कि usually uh, like I know those people since almost like maybe 12 year 12 साल हो गए. And then uh, we do actually tease together, we actually do tease everyone as also. Okay, but the right now teasing एक मेरे को चिढ़ाना वगैरह वगैरह जो हम पहले करते, the things that we do before is kind of like a very different than things what we do today. It's completely different, legit different. It's a something really gap. Okay, एंड वो दिखता है, वो ऐसे ऐसे से दिखता है. ओके, दिखता है यानी वो फील होता है, वो सॉरी वो फील होता है, दिखता नहीं. ओके, दैट इज थिंग्स लाइक दैट. ओके, लाइक बेसिकली इज दैट कि there are almost like a kids who is actually age is almost like a 15 to 20. Okay, those people are playing crickets. Okay, and those people are actually kind of like a teasing them, गाली दे रहे एक मेक को वगैरह वगैरह. So actually as a third person perspective we are actually looking as a kind of like a very funny way, because of that ki those are people has a particular age that they can do those stuff, and it's kind of like a really cool. Okay, and इसमें कोई ये नहीं है. Okay, but what if instead of those people there are almost like a at the age of 35 or maybe 40 or maybe almost like a 30 years old people who is actually एक मेरे को गाली दे रहे वगैरह वगैरह. सो एट दैट टाइम यू जस्ट फील लिटिल बिट ऑफ सीरियस, क्योंकि हाँ चलो ये बंदे हैं ना, ये बंदे एक मेरे को गाली दे रहे बिकॉज ऑफ दैट कि मे बी थिंग्स विल हैपन. या दे आर काइंड ऑफ लाइक अ वो एक मेरे को गाली दे रहे बिकॉज ऑफ काइंड ऑफ लाइक अ रियली लाइट एंड फनी वे, बट इवेंचुअली फ्रॉम द थर्ड पर्सन पर्सपेक्टिव इट फील्स लाइक दैट कि कुछ तो प्रॉब्लम है. एंड दिस इज व्हाट आई फील. ओके, सो लाइक व्हाट इज एग्जैक्टली इज दिस थिंग, लाइक इसमें सक्सेसफुल होने की क्या बात हो गई है. ओके, लेट मी गेट इट टू यू. ओके, so it's kind of like a really something really happened in the brain. Okay, that you don't really understand it, but some people understand and some people don't really understand. Okay, so what is that? So usually I'm just giving you the example. Okay, so when you are in the child, when you are in the some sort of age that you are actually, when you are actually at the age of 15 to 20. Okay, 15 to 20 or maybe before that almost like a 10 to 20. Okay, so at that age you are actually hanging out with your friend. Hanging out means like that ki you put your hand on the shoulder of your friend. Okay, like this. Okay, why you do that? Because he's your buddy, he's your guy, and you do that stuff. Okay, but same thing is that ki when one friend becomes something very rich and some people is became don't really rich. Okay, so will those people do this thing again, like basically put your hand on the shoulder? Does that do? No, it doesn't. Like basically there is a gap. Okay, like अभी तू बड़ा हो गया ना, तो अभी मैं तेरे कंधे पे हाथ कैसे रख सकता हूँ. ओके, अभी ये लाइक ये बातें कहने की नहीं है, बट इट एक्चुअली हैपन ऑन योर ब्रेन. ओके, इट एक्चुअली हैपन ऑन योर ब्रेन एंड देन यू आर स्टार्ट थिंकिंग लाइक दैट. डू नहीं, क्योंकि जस्ट लाइक दैट हम पर्पसफुली किसी किसी के कंधे पे हाथ नहीं रखते. बिकॉज ऑफ दैट कि हम किसी कंधे पे हाथ रखते हैं बिकॉज ऑफ दैट कि दोज पीपल आर काइंड ऑफ लाइक अ रियली सिमिलर अबिलिटी और सिमिलर कंडीशन दैट यू आर. वन थिंग, अनदर थिंग इज दैट कि दैट पर्सन इज एक्चुअली बिलो यू. So then you will do something like that, but you cannot put your hand on the shoulder on the boss. Okay, अगर आपका एक बॉस है, अगर उसके बॉस पे आप कंधे पे हाथ रखे हो तो you cannot do that. Why? Because it's kind of like a something really very different between you and your boss. Okay, so in the boss replace this character with a friend who is became something really rich. Okay, or who is became something really get a job. So you cannot do that. Okay, but he can do that. He can put your hand on the shoulder. Why? Because of that he was actually kind of like a really far ahead of you. Then he can do that, but you cannot do that. So this is actually a terminology. This is actually happen on your brain. Okay, so what is this thing, like how should I solve this thing? ओके, लाइक व्हाट इज एग्जैक्टली, लाइक बेसिकली इज दैट कि हाँ चलो बच्चे थे, एक मेरे को चिढ़ा रहे थे बचपन में. ओके, बट राइट नाउ वी आर गेटिंग ओल्ड. ओके, वी आर गेटिंग एज एंड एट दैट टाइम you like if you do something some sort of stuff it might get hurt people. Okay, so at that time you cannot do that. Okay, like basically showing friendship is kind of like a very different way from एज पर्सपेक्टिव. ओके, लाइक बेसिकली बचपन में हम ऐसा करते थे. एट द मिडल एज यू हैव टू डू दिस थिंग. एट द ओल्ड एज it's this kind of like the way of expressing friendship is became something really different than age to age. Okay, so you have to understand this thing. Okay, one thing. Another thing is that कि as a person who is not actually have a job and who is actually feeling those kind of like a teasing, then people are actually teasing, like just an example, that day before yesterday at this birthday, everyone is actually laughing at Pintu. Like kind of like a really stupid something, like a he ate the cake, he ate the this, he has a pot, like whatever. Okay, like there is no reason but they still laugh. Okay, one thing why they laugh, because of that कि everyone needs a bakra, so laugh, so they laugh. Okay, that is one thing. Another thing is that कि Pinto is became something really very approachable character. And what is approachable character? Let me tell you one thing. Approachable character means like that कि this is the guy that you can do anything with him and he didn't really mind it. Okay, and when those people found out na, then people are taking advantage. Okay, what do you mean by advantage? Advantage means same thing like that कि उसको tease करना, उसको चिढ़ाना, उसको whatever thing, because he didn't really mind it ना, तो चलो अभी कुछ भी कर लेते हैं इसके साथ. Okay, so at that time the person who is feeling that kind of like a guilt and kind of like a, yeah, like Pintu, so at that time don't be approachable character first. If you have kind of like a self respect of yourself, because of, let me tell you one thing, what exactly happened is this thing, like basically as a person who is actually feeling that कि हाँ चलो ये तो यहाँ अपन का दोस्त है, ये तो मेरे को चिढ़ाता है, it's not that light, okay, let it be, take a light. Okay, so when you start thinking like that na, then that person who is actually taking advantage again and again and again, okay, and he didn't really care of your feeling, because of that कि at his perspective he say he didn't really mind it, so he was constantly doing it that. Okay, so what I'm trying to tell you कि when he does that, when he kind of like a teasing Pintu, when Badal is teasing Pintu, okay, there are almost like a multiple people was there. Okay, so usually is that कि अगर एक बंदा दूसरे पे जोक कर रहा है, okay, तो यूजुअली वो तो हंसता ही है, बट उसके साथ आजू बाजू के लोग भी हंसते हैं. ओके, फिर व्हाट इज दैट हैपन इज दैट कि बादल इज एक्चुअली थिंकिंग दैट कि हाँ चलो ये अप्रोचेबल कैरेक्टर है, सो वी कैन डू एनीथिंग विथ हिम. देन बाकी के लोग भी ऐसा ही सोचने लगते हैं. इट एक्चुअली हैपन ऑन योर ब्रेन, एंड देन इट जस्ट लाइक वी आर स्टार्ट पिकिंग थिंग्स. ओके, वी आर स्टार्ट पिकिंग थिंग्स, एंड पिकिंग थिंग्स में उसको एक सब्जेक्ट पकड़ते फिर उस पर हंसने लगते. सब्जेक्ट कोई भी हो, ओके, ये मोटा है, ये बहुत खाता है, ये दिन भर सोता है, इस पर जस्ट लाइक नॉट गेट पर्सनली, बट टेक लिटिल बिट ऑफ दैट कि हाँ अभी कितनी दाढ़ी बढ़ाई है वगैरह वगैरह. इट जस्ट लाइक दैट कि all those people are taking points for laugh. Okay, yeah, बिकॉज ऑफ दैट कि अभी अभी क्या हो रहा है कि अभी क्या है कि फिर एवरी वन पीपल थिंग्स लाइक दैट कि हाँ चलो पिंटू इज बिकेम रियली अप्रोचेबल कैरेक्टर, सो वी कैन डू एनीथिंग विथ हिम. सो या, इट हैपन. So and usually it cycle goes on. Okay, sometimes you like basically आप हर जगह हर दिन best friend तो नहीं बदलते ना. like when the people you became friend, they are actually have a friend. Okay, so आप group तो नहीं छोड़ सकते. So usually whenever you went with those people, they are actually start teasing, even if you have a choice, even if you have kind of like a something like no, just like that they are start doing it. So at that time now, if you have self respect, say that thing, dude, ये जो कर रहा है ना, ये आई डोंट लाइक इट, तू ये चुप कर तू. ओके, मेरे को ये अच्छा नहीं लगता. ओके, ये दिस काइंड ऑफ लाइक अ रियली राइट वे. ओके, व्हाई, ओके, लेट मी एट द बिगिनिंग ऑफ दिस कन्वर्सेशन आई वाज टेलिंग दैट कि दिस एक्चुअली हैपन बिकॉज ऑफ हाउ गेट पीपल सक्सेसफुल. ओके, सो यूजुअली फॉर दिस काइंड ऑफ लाइक अ प्रॉब्लम वी हैव टू सोल्यूशन. फर्स्ट सोल्यूशन इज दैट कि पहले आप उनके लायक बनो, या पहले जॉब गेन करो एंड एवरीथिंग, अर्न लिटिल बिट ऑफ मनी. ओके, देन दोज पीपल आर नॉट काइंड ऑफ लाइक अ नॉट टीजिंग यू, बट उसमें भी कोई गारंटी नहीं है, बिकॉज ऑफ दैट कि यू आर एक्चुअली अर्निंग मनी, ही वॉज एक्चुअली ऑल्सो अर्निंग अ मनी. सो वट एवर यू डू, we are actually in the playing field, same playing field. So usually he will actually tease him every time. Okay, even if you get a job or not get a job, he will just like teasing that one thing. Okay, but it's not a solution, but sometime it happened because of that कि when you get a job you are occupied with the things. Okay, and when you are occupied with the things, then the people who is actually teasing like a Badal, okay, he don't have a time like that person is not really available. So usually is that कि sometimes they just forget that teasing. Okay, and then eventually it will get minimize, and something it will get minimized. It will not be completely drop, no, but it just goes minimize. Okay, that is the one thing, one solution. Another solution, and that is a kind of like a really this is kind of like a first solution is actually happened very simultaneously, very slowly, and it will be end. Okay, this is the first solution. Second solution is that this is kind of like a really right solution, and it actually happened at the moment. ओके, लेट मी टेल यू वन थिंग इज दैट कि वेन एवर दैट पर्सन इज एक्चुअली टीजिंग यू और कोई मजाक उड़ाया या किसी को मेरे को बकरा वगैरह बनाया ना, एट दैट टाइम ओके, पहली बार अपन लाइट में लेते हैं कोई बात नहीं, ओके, बट वेन ही स्टार्ट डूइंग थिंग्स लाइक ना भाई, घर पे जाने के बाद उसको कॉल करना, नहीं नहीं नहीं, बेसिकली इज दैट कि एट द मोमेंट एवरी वन वॉज लाफिंग, ओके ओके, बात करने दो, हंसने दो, कोई बात नहीं, ओके, बिकॉज एट दैट टाइम यू वर टेल देम ना कि भाई ये मेरे को पसंद नहीं ना, तो इट विल क्रिएट सीन, एंड व्हेन सीन विज क्रिएट ना, then you are kind of like a being something really left out, because of that कि at that moment people are laughing you, because of that कि they are actually connecting with you, okay, but you are start saying that ना कि dude मेरे से ऐसे बात मत कर, then what exactly happen, scene will create, okay, then scene will create ना, so basically is that कि people don't like, people are not actually teasing you, but they didn't really start talking like they didn't really talk with you, okay, फिर वो आपसे बात भी नहीं करेंगे, okay, yeah, and we don't want that, okay, because of that ki the main crux problem is not everyone, main crux of problem is the person who is actually teasing that problem, that person. So usually you are creating a scene was everyone was there, so you are actually hurting all those people, okay, so this is not right solution, okay. So what exactly is this thing कि when you are in the particular community, particular friend and people are actually teasing and everything, okay, so after that okay, हंसना वगैरह हो गया, सब कुछ हो गया, फिर उसके बाद अभी घर चले गए सब लोग, okay, फिर उसके बाद you have to call that particular person and say that कि dude मेरे को ये पसंद नहीं, तू जो ये कह रहे हैं ना मेरे को ये बिल्कुल पसंद नहीं, clearly say, okay, because of that what exactly happened, you are actually hitting a kind of like a really perfect target, okay, it's kind of like a, this is the main crux, okay, and you actually hitting that target, like basically in the carom na, you actually hit the queen, so this exactly is this thing, okay. अगर आपने अगर and like basically is that sometimes scenario didn't really happen, like sometimes scenario is just like that कि we didn't really went at home and whatever it is, but when the conversation was over and when everyone gets some sort of somewhere else, so take that person away from the away from people, away from the group and say that कि dude मेरे को ये पसंद नहीं, तू जो ये कह रहा है ना ये बिल्कुल, that person will easily understand because like he was doing it just for the funny intentionally, but when he realized that कि हाँ चलो तू उसको like you are became little bit of hurt while I was say something like that ना, so that person will become stop, okay, so at that time he will not kind of like say something like this thing, and when he was not saying that, then rest of the people is not really saying that, because like basically what exactly is this thing कि हमारी एक kind of like एक होती है कि अगर एक बंदे ने हाँ कर दिया, दो बंदे ने हाँ कर दिया, तीन बंदे ने हाँ कर दिया, ऑलमोस्ट लाइक 50 to 30% people are actually saying something really right, then everyone says right because of that कि everyone wants to be part of the group, okay, और basically same thing happened with the teasing as also, like एक बंदा दूसरे बंदे को गाली दे रहा है as a funny perspective, दूसरा बंदा तीसरा बंदा, then everyone start doing something like that because everyone wants to be part of the group, okay. So this is exactly happened. So these are the two solutions, okay, and like basically is that key first solution is that first solution get a job, get a successful, it's just like this is a kind of like a really, I don't know, I am not really recommend this thing, अगर you are feel really bad and you are feel really hurtful ना, तो आप उस बंदे को क्लियरली बोल दो, डूड क्लियरली बोल दो कि भाई मेरे को ये बिल्कुल पसंद नहीं, whatever the things you say just clear in right way, okay. Yeah, दैट्स इट, वो समझ जाएगा, वो कितना भी बुरा इंसान है ना वो समझ जाएगा कि बेसिकली इज दैट कि आपने सीन क्रिएट नहीं किया, और whatever the problems we you and that person you solve this problem in personal space, you are not actually include all those people in these things, so actually very good. So yeah, same thing happened like basically almost like a month ago. Badal is kind of like a really something really teasing me and all those things. I will take it lightly, हाँ चलो lightly होते, but nah, just like when almost like a month ago I just really frustrated, I just say that कि dude ऐसा ऐसा है वैसा ऐसा है, you will not actually, he understand, okay, he is not actually talking to me, okay, but rest of the people are talking to me, ओके, एंड आई एम फीलिंग रियली गुड बिकॉज ऑफ दैट कि भाई ग्रुप में ऐसा एक नहीं का ऐसा एक कीड़ा होता ही है जो नहीं क्या वो किसी की फीलिंग की कदर नहीं करता और कुछ भी कह देता है, ओके लाइक बेसिकली एंड वो सोचता है कि वो सबके बारे में सोचता है, बट एक्चुअली ही वाज नॉट एक्चुअली ही वाज नॉट ओके. एंड दिस इज एक्चुअली सेम थिंग विद द बादल. ओके, so I don't know, I don't like basically is that कि right now ना like almost like maybe a year ago I was taking that कि हाँ चलो बादल एक बेस्ट फ्रेंड है अपना, बट right now ना he was that kind of person who is actually नॉट दैट काइंड ऑफ लाइक अ पर्सन. सो हाँ चलो ग्रुप में है तो मैं तो बात करता नहीं. ओके, आई स्टार्टेड कम्युनिकेशन बट ही वॉज नॉट टॉकिंग, सो दैट इज़ ओके. ओके, दैट इज़ ओके, ही वॉज नॉट टॉकिंग टू मी, दैट इज़ ओके, बिकॉज जब भी वो मुंह खोलेगा ना तो मेरे को बिल्कुल पसंद नहीं, तो लेट मी बी क्वाइट फॉर द डे. ओके, दैट इज़ अ वन थिंग. एंड ऑल्सो अनदर थिंग इज दैट कि लेट्स जस्ट काइंड ऑफ लाइक कीप इट अवे फ्रॉम यू. ओके, बिकॉज दिस पर्सन इज नॉट गुड. Even if those person are kind of like a really, you know him since almost like a second standard, it's just like a, it's not, because वो बंदे हैं ना वो बिल्कुल भी ना, no. But actually is that कि you cannot start judging all those people every time, because the life is goes on ना, you are meeting so many peoples. Okay, you are meeting with so many peoples, and so many people, and you interact with all those people have also. So at that time na, don't be focused on one person, don't be focused on, like basically what I'm trying to tell you कि focus on yourself. Okay, people will get close. Okay, people will get close and people will kind of like something really, हाँ चलो, अगर आप एक तरह से नहीं, क्या एक तरह से आप सोचते हैं कि हाँ यही मेरा बेस्ट फ्रेंड है और whatever he do, whatever he do, यही मेरी दुनिया है, तो basically he was taking advantage of you ना. Try to occupy yourself, occupied with the things that you do. Okay, then वो समझ जाएगी हाँ चलो ये बंदा भी है ना, हाँ चलो अभी इसके साथ थोड़ा सा सीरियसली लेते हैं. सो या like basically in my life there is a one sort like a Badal, he has some sort of conflict with all those people. Like if I include some of, if I exclude some of the people like Pintu, because Pintu is always be kind of like taking it very lightly since the beginning. Like he didn't really shout him everything. Okay, so Pintu, Vishal, I'm telling you why Vishal is not actually conflict with the Badal. Okay, Vishal and one man, but usually one man is kind of like a real something really little bit of far away from him. So usually all those three people. Okay, then rest of the people, everyone fight with him. Me, Badal, Prashik, Rahul, then yeah, we all the people fight with him. Okay, because he does do something like that ना, वो ऐसा ही करता है वो. Okay, वो ऐसा ही है. So yeah, okay, let me tell you one thing, why Vishal is not actually kind of like a exclude in this thing, because of ना कि Vishal is actually very much bright student from the beginning. Okay, so usually मैं बादल को समझता हूँ क्योंकि he was actually I know him, मैंने उसके साथ काम भी किया है. Okay, so what exactly is this thing कि जो बंदा बहुत ज़्यादा अप्रोचेबल होता है ना, वो उसके साथ ही मज़ा करता है, उसके साथ ही बेस्ट फ्रेंड बनाता है. बट जो बंदे हैं ना बहुत ज़्यादा इंटेलिजेंट होते हैं या बहुत ज़्यादा सक्सेसफुल होते हैं, तो उनको वो अप्रोच नहीं करता. सो सेम थिंग हैपन विद द विशाल. लाइक बेसिकली विशाल एंड बादल, ही स्पेंड ऑलमोस्ट लाइक अ एंटायर कॉलेज विद हिम, बट ही डिडंटली बिकेम अ रियली बेस्ट फ्रेंड बिकॉज ऑफ दैट कि बादल इज एक्चुअली लुकिंग हिम एज अ काइंड ऑफ लाइक अ रियली इंटेलिजेंट गाय. सो यूजुअली ही वॉज नॉट एक्चुअली टीज all the time. Okay, so so usually Vishal is excluded because of that ki Badal is not actually taking advantage of Vishal. Okay, so that is one thing. Okay, and he's actually kind of like a looking at kind of like a really intelligent guy, so little bit of away. Yeah, whatever, it's just like why should I'm talking about such thing in this article? I don't know, just like I just wanted to talk. I just like maybe like basically this is kind of like a lesson I experience. Okay, and how should I deal with this thing, I also understand that. So when such thing happen in further life na, I will know what should I do. Okay, that's it. All right, so this is the my artifact episode number 2670, 80 or whatever it is. Right now we are at Vadamarushtra. Thank you.